Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Cheltenham Racecourse here on the final day of the festival. It is Friday, the 19th of March 2021. We're going to look at almost all the races on the program, including the Gold Cup. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also join me tomorrow for my Contractors Midlands Grand National preview video. And also join me tomorrow for my Fairgrounds Louisiana Derby preview video. So some excellent racing ahead, but it's the final day of the festival. The Gold Cup looks like it's going to be an excellent race, so we're going to look at that and almost all the races except two of them. We won't be looking at the fifth race, the 340, which is the Fox Hunters, which I just can't stand, and we won't be looking at the seventh race, the 450, which is the conditional jockey race. Just can't stand that. So we'll be looking at the other five races on the program. Let's get to it right now, starting off with the opener, the 120 from Cheltenham. The 120, the first race from Cheltenham, it is the Grade 1 JCB Triumph Hurdle. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $128,500, race for juvenile 4-year-olds here. We have a field of 8 horses going the distance of ground of 3,400 meters, or 2 miles and 1/8 over the hurdle course. As a top selection, we'll take the one horse Adagio. We'll go 167 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 167 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, one horse Adagio. This Adagio. This 4-year-old given by Wiener Walzer. Tom Scudamore gets them out for David Pipe. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of January at Chepstow. Soft ground, 2 miles in the Grade 1 Choral Finale Juvenile Hurdle, and he won by 2 1/4 lengths. And as the 5-2 second choice, he just jumped for fun on that it was the heavier side of soft, and it should have been really rated heavy, the ground that day. But on the very demanding ground, he jumped well, quickened up nicely, and jumped, his mark really jumped up a lot that day. It was an all-around good race. Come to here back to Cheltenham, where he's run very well in the past. I expect him to really bounce off of that performance, run a very good race, and like I said, improve. Two back in a Class 2 Juvenile Hurdle here at Cheltenham, 2 miles and 1/8 on the 12th of December. Guess what? He's a course and distance winner, winning by 4 3/4 lengths, and he jumped well, stayed the trip well. An all-around good race at 44 cents to the dollar. And then his Cheltenham debut came on the 14th of November, 2 miles in the Grade 2 JCB Triumph Juvenile Hurdle. In the trial, finished second by 5 lengths. He jumped well. He just needed that extra turn of foot. But, I've seen a lot worse races. And before that, at Warwick, in a Juvenile Hurdle, he won by 7.5 lengths there. And he did everything right. His only subpar race was here at Cheltenham in the trial for this race in November. But other than that, he's been pretty perfect. 7-1, let's use him. Your second likeliest winner in this one is the 6-horse Tritonic. Adrian Heskins on this one for Alan King. His most recent race in the Adonis Juvenile Hurdle at Kempton in February, he won by 10, and he took off clear. That was a very good, easy race. And then before that, at Ascot in January, another very easy race. 2 for 2 over the jumps. He's going to be running his it's going to be his major test today, but his speed figures have been very nicely done, and 2-1, he looks like the second horse to beat, so we'll definitely use him in the play spot. But to recap my selection for the first, the 120 from Cheltenham, it is the Grade 1 JCB Triumph Hurdle. We'll take the one horse Adagio or Adagio. I'm going to give kudos to the 6-horse Tritonic. We'll go 167 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, 1/6 in the place pot. And before we get to the second race, just take a shot every time I say a horse's name wrong during this video. Let's get to the second race, the 155 from Cheltenham. The 155, the second race from Cheltenham. It is the Grade 3 McCoy Contractors County Handicap Hurdle. It's a Grade 3 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $103,000, race for 5-year-olds and upwards. An overflow field of 26 horses entered to go the distance of ground here of 3,400 meters, or 2 miles and 1/8 over the hurdle course. A very wide open race. I'm going to give you 3 horses that I think can win. Most definitely is in your place pot and forecast combinations. The 3 horses I'll be giving you in no particular order would be the 4-horse Edward Stone, the 5-horse DeRosso, and the number 10 horse here, third time lucky. So 4, 5, 10. We'll start off with the 4-horse Edwardstown. This 7-year-old gelded by Cave Terror. Tom Cannon gets them out for Alan King. Most recently, they ran the horse in the Grade 3 Betfair Hurdle at Newbury, 2 miles on the 21st of February, and he finished third by 3 1/4 lengths there. He jumped well. He had a decent turn of foot. I didn't think that was a half bad race. Finally getting back to a little bit of a quicker ground. He does not like really heavy ground, but come back here off a decent run. He should really improve off of that race. I expect him to really run a good race. Two back in a Class 2 handicap hurdle market race in 2 miles and 8th, January the 16th. He didn't like the ground, but he got the job done, winning by 5 lengths with a high weight. He was much the best, facing very lesser quality horses. And then before that, Doncaster, very heavy ground in late December, 2 miles in Class 2 novice handicap chase. He didn't finish the race that day. He lost a rider. What can you do? I just don't think he liked the bigger obstacles there. His races over the smaller ones haven't been half bad. Before that, his most recent race here at Cheltenham in November in the Great Wood Handicap Hurdle, he finished 5th by 7.5 lengths, and he was going to catch the winners that day, but I thought he got around the race course decently early on throughout the race, but he might need the race first off the bench. But with every single race, he's been improving a lot. At 15 to 1, we'll use him. Your second likeliest winner here is the 5-horse, or next likeliest winner is the 5-horse Durasso. 8-year-old gun by Coin Turf. JJ Slevin's on this one for Joseph O'Brien. The horse's most recent outing came in the Red Mills Trial Hurdle at Fairyhouse over the 2 miles in late February, where he finished 3rd by 22 lengths, and they put the headgear on that day, which helped him a little bit. He was jumping well. He needed that extra turn of foot, which he didn't get. Maybe he wants a little bit longer, but, it was still a decent race. Before that, Nav in 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 2 Boyne Hurdle. Against tougher competition, he finished 3rd by 12 lengths, and he just wasn't really keeping up with the 2 better horses in front of him. And then before that, at Gowan in the Gilmoy Hurdle, he finished 4th by 18 lengths. Again, he just needed that extra something there. He's been jumping these good races, but he just hasn't been going to that next step. He's going to have to get to that next step today, but his speed figures can win against these horses. We'll also give a shot to the number 10 horse here, 3rd time lucky. Harry Skelton's on this one for Dan Skelton. Most recently ran him in a novice hurdle at Musselburgh in early February, where he finished 4th by 5 lengths there, and he just never really quickened out. First starts since Boxing Day. I think he needed the race. He's another horse. He'll like the yielding ground today. Before that, on Boxing Day on yielding ground at Kempton in a novice hurdle, he won by 9, and he put on a show, jumping well, quickening up nicely, an all-around good race. And then his most recent race here at Cheltenham in the Supreme Trial Novices Hurdle, he finished 2nd by 2 3/4 lengths. He wasn't going to catch the winner, but he got around the race course well, which is good, because Cheltenham is your horse for course kind of course. But, it's 6 to 1. Another very likely winner. We'll definitely use him in your place spots. But to recap my selection for the second, the 155 from Cheltenham, it is the Grade 3 McCoy Contractors County Handicap Hurdle. We'll give kudos to the 4-horse Edward Stone, the 5-horse Durasso, and the 10-horse 3rd Time Lucky. We'll go 4, 5, 10, and we'll definitely use all 4 of those, or excuse me, all 3 of them in the place pot and in your forecast combinations. Let's get to the 3rd from Cheltenham. The 3rd race from Cheltenham, the 2:30, it is the Grade 1 Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $134,000. Race for novice 4-year-olds and upwards. 17 horses are going 4,800 meters, or 3 miles over the chase course. As a top selection of my best bet of the day, we're going to take the 8-horse Fakira. We'll go 8-4 in the forecast exacta. 8-4 forecast exacta. Top selection, the 8-horse Fakira. This 6-year-old gelding here, Keith Donahue, gets them out for Denise Foster. The horse's most recent appearance came at Leopardstown on the 6th of February. Very soft ground, 2 miles 3/4 in the Grade 1 Nathaniel Lacey's and partner solicitors, Sheldon Bonus staff, novice chase, blah, 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 blah. I hate these race names. But he finished 4th by 7 lengths there. He had a little bit of a high weight. He jumped well. He needed that extra turn of foot, but I also think the trip was just a little bit too short. Getting the extra 2 furlongs, going to 3 miles today to Cheltenham, I think he's sitting on a very good run. Something I've noticed, when he wins, he does have a very good run-in, which I think should suit him well locally. 2 back, he ran in the Grade 2 Bet Victor Make Your Best Novices Hurdle at Navan mid-December over the 2.5 miles. Trip was too short, but he jumped well early on. He finished 2nd by 6 lengths. He needed that extra ground to cover, but, again, it wasn't the world's worst place for him there. And then prior to that, he ran in the Grade 3 Bet Victor Casino Monksfield Novice Hurdle at Navan, 2.5 miles in November. He won by half length, and he got the job done. Very good turn of foot in the run-in, an all-around good race. And then before that, in a main hurdle at Fairyhouse over the 2 miles, he won by a nose. Really improved a lot. I like him coming to the 3-mile trip today. He's a good weight, and at 9 to 2, a very likely winner. So he'll be my best bet of the day. So to recap my selection for the 3rd race, 2:30 from Cheltenham, it is the Grade 1 Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle. We're going to take the 8-horse Fakira. We'll go 8-4 in the forecast exact, and like I said, Fakira will be my best bet of the day. Let's get to the featured 4th race from Cheltenham. The featured fourth race, the 305 from Cheltenham. It is the Grade 1 Cheltenham Gold Cup. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse $642,000, race for 5-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 12 horses entered to go the distance of ground here of 5,200 meters, or 3 miles and 1/4 over the chase course. My top selection here, I'm going to take a shot here with the number 6 horse Frodon. We'll go 6, 12, 10 in the tri-cash trifecta, 6, 12, 10 tri-cash trifecta. But to tell you the truth, any of those 3 horses can win, so definitely use them in your place pots. We'll talk about all 3 of them, but as a top selection, like I said, we'll take the 6 horse Frodon. 9-year-old gelding by nickname, Brianni Frost gets them out for Paul Nichols. The horse's most recent outing came Boxing Day at Kempton, 3 miles into Grade 1 King George Chase, and the horse won by 2 1/4 lengths and basically strolled around like it was nothing, jumped well, quickened up nicely, and destroyed a very good group of horses home. A very easy run. Coming back here today, to Cheltenham, where this horse has run decently in the past, he's going to have an extra step to, coming off probably our best race, or his best race, come here, very tough quality horses. I think this horse could really improve off the last run. 2 back, though, the horse ran crab at Aintree, 3 miles and 1/8 in the many clouds chase. On very soft ground, he finished 4th by 50 lengths, and he just completely hit the wall. I don't know if he was 100% cranked up. It just wasn't the day to win. And then before that, at Cheltenham, 3 miles and 1/8 in a Class 2 handicap chase in October, the horse won by 1.5 lengths, even with the high weight, still jumped well to get the job done. Not as the favorite, should have been your 9-2 favorite, but it wasn't. They bet everybody else into the ground except him. But it was still an all-around good race there. He ran last year at the festival in the Ryanair chase, where he finished 4th by 15 lengths. I do think the trip was just too short that day. He was jumping well during the main portion, but he needed that extra ground to cover late. And then before then, the Silvanco Conti chase at Kempton last January 2020, he won by 1/4 lengths, again with a high weight, did everything right and more. Likes running at Kempton, likes running here at Cheltenham, coming off the best career race last time out. Off the bench, I think at 12-1 this horse has a logical chance, so we'll use him. Your next logical winner is the 12 horse Santini, 9-year-old gelding by Milan. Aiden Coleman gets on this one for Nicky Henderson. Most recently, they ran the horse in the Cotswold chase at Sandown, usually scheduled for Cheltenham on trial day, but because of all the rain they've been having in the UK this season, had to be cancelled. But at Sandown on very heavy ground, he finished 3rd by 17 lengths there, and he just really couldn't quicken up, never could keep up. I don't know if he likes Sandown. He didn't win over Sandown a few years ago, but, that day he just really wasn't getting into it. Before that, in the King George Kempton, 3 miles on yielding ground, he finished 5th by 10 lengths, and he completely hit the wall. He started off the season well, but then he's just slowly going backwards. But that was a very weird race in the King George. He should have did a lot better there. And then before that, probably one of his best races recently in the Many Clouds chase at Aintree, he placed behind Lakeview Lad, and he jumped a good race. He just couldn't get there late, but there was nothing bad about that run. And then before that, in last year's Gold Cup, he ran the race of his life behind Album Photo. He just missed late, but he was jumping well. Like I said, just couldn't get there late, but there was nothing to cry home about that run. And then the Cotswold last year at Cheltenham on trial day, he won by 3.5 lengths, stayed the trip well, an all-around good race. He nearly won the race last year. His form is slightly decreasing recently, but if he could show that 2020 form and 2019 form, he can win here today at 10-1 off the bench. We'll give him a shot. And you can't throw out the old man, the 10-horse Native River. He won this race a few years ago. And then when he won the race, the following season, his form really kind of digressed, but he's really his form recently has been going up and up, and I think he might be sitting on another very good run. Dickie Johnson's on this one for Colin Tizard. Most recently in the Cotswold chase, the old man came back to show his dominance, winning by 9.5 lengths, and he jumped a terrific race, quickening up nicely. Like I said, it was good for the old man to have the renaissance there. Before then, the Many Clouds at Aintree over the 3 miles and 1/8. First off the bench, he needed the race, finished 3rd by 3 lengths. He never weakened out of it, but never quickened up. But he was jumping well early on. And then before then, the Demden chase last February at Newbury, he won by 2 3/4 lengths, and again, he won for fun. And then he won the Many Clouds chase at Aintree in 2019 for fun. Since they put the blinkers on, he's really become a different horse. So I think the headgear really helps him. He won this race a few years ago. He could definitely stay the trip at 15-1. I think he might have a renaissance into him. So we'll definitely use him in your place pots. But I do prefer the other 2 before him. But to recount my selections for the 305 from Cheltenham, it is the Grade 1 Cheltenham Gold Cup. We'll take the 6 horse Frodon as a top selection. We'll give kudos to the 12 horse Santini and the 10 horse Native River. We'll go 6, 12, 10. And like I said, use all 3 of them in the place pot. Now the 5th race, the 340 from Cheltenham. It's the Hunter's Chase. I'm just not going to look at it because I just find this race obnoxiously annoying because it's, you learn from your mistakes. If you can't pick a winner in this race, so you don't look at the race. So I don't feel confident giving out a tip in this race, and I have integrity. So we won't be looking at the 340. We'll watch it, but we just won't look at it. So we'll head over to race number 6 now from Cheltenham. The 4:15, the sixth race from Cheltenham. It is the Grade 2 Mrs. Paddy Power Mare's Chase. It's a Grade 2 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $123,500, race for 5-year-olds and upwards. Mares only. We have a field of 11 horses going the distance of ground of 4,200 meters, or 2 miles and 5/8 over the Chase course. I'm going to take the 7-horse Magic of Light as a top selection. We'll go 7, 110 in the trifecta. 7, 110 trifecta. Top selection 7-horse Magic of Light. 10-year-old mare by Flemsforth. Robbie Power gets them out for Jessica Harrington. The horse's most recent outing came the Grade 2 Matchbook Betting Podcast Mares Hurdle at Ascot. 2 miles 15/16 on the 23rd of January. He finished second by 8 lengths there, and I do think the trip just got to him late. Just really couldn't keep up. Never quickened up late. It wasn't the day to win. Cutting back the trip to 2 miles 5/8, more in the horse's wheelhouse. I think the horse could really get a better trip and win today. 2 back in the Mare's Chase at Newbury, 2 miles 7/8 the 16th of December. He won by 8 lengths. He had the high weight, but he still won for fun against some very lesser quality horses. Only faced 2 other rivals there, but it was still a good run there. And then before that, a Punchestown and Mare's Hurdle over the 2 miles 5/16. He finished 4th by 23 lengths, and he just really was on the drive, not excelling. First start since February, shorter trip. I just don't think it was a recipe for success there. And then before that, in the Ireland Boyne Hurdle at Navan, 2 miles 5/8 last February, the horse finished 8th by 32 lengths. Facing the boys that afternoon, she just really couldn't keep up there. But before then, the Bet365's Mare's Hurdle at Ascot in January 2020, the horse won by 4 3/4 lengths and did everything right with the heavyweight, an all-around good race. And then before that, won the Mare's Chase at Newbury in December 2019. Has some hidden form. Most recent races, I just thought were a little bit too long of a trip, but cutting back to 2 miles 5/8 at 12-1, we'll give this horse a shot, along with the one horse, Clover Reevy. Like I said, just take a shot every time I say a horse's name wrong. I do watch the replays, and I do have I do know how to say the horse's name, but when I do these videos, I get very stressed out. When I get stressed out, I just can't say words in their proper order, so just pardon that. But the number counts more than the name. But my God, it's starting to become a joke, me not saying the horse's name. But most recently, they ran the horse on the most recently at Thurles on the 27th of January, 2 miles and a half in the Grade 2 in the Hugh Gardens Irish EBF Novice Hurdle, and the horse won by a dozen lengths and took off clear, beating Matt Ida, who won yesterday very impressively here at the festival. And then before that, won very easily at Limerick in Ireland, and before that, even easier at Punchestown. Though the horse ran here at the festival last year in the Mare's Novice Hurdle, where the horse just never really got going, but didn't come into the festival very well last year. But this year's comes to the festival a lot better, and on the up and up at 5-2, we'll definitely use in your place pots. But we're going to take a shot with the other horse who I think has a better chance, Magic of Light. But to recount my selections now for the 6th, the 4:15 from Cheltenham, it is the Grade 2 Mrs. Paddy Power and Mare's Chase. We're going to take the 7-horse Magic of Light. We'll give kudos to the number 1 horse here, who is Colarevi. Like I said, just take a shot every time I say a horse's name wrong. We'll go 7, 1, 10 in the trifecta, 7, 1 in the place pod. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5, and remember to join me tomorrow for my Midlands Grand National preview from Utaxter, and also join me tomorrow for my Louisiana Derby preview from the fairgrounds, and next week for some great racing from all across the globe here on planet Earth with the Dubai World Cup, the Florida Derby. You have Doncaster, you have St. Cloud next week. It's just some great racing in the next few weeks, so just join me out here on YouTube, and in a few more weeks' time, join me for my Grand National preview. So good luck, everybody.